Lessons from Behind My Chair is a podcast that aims to fill your cup with a fresh squeezed dose of clarity, courage, and bliss. Join your host, Angela B. Fuller, each Sunday morning at 7 for real, raw, light bulb conversations, and follow along at Angela B. Fuller on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, as well as rate 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Now, let's get into the show.
Hey, love. Welcome back to another episode of Lessons from Behind My Chair. I'm your host, Angela B. Fuller, master hairstylist turned certified life coach. Today, I have a juicy topic set up for you today. But before I dive in, you know I have a pop question first. So I think that this question will definitely create a smooth move into our juicy lesson for today. So, my question is, have you heard the statement, sometimes you have to regress in order to progress? Listen now, I know you're thinking out loud, Angela, if I regress any further, I will be falling into the abyss. But stay with me, and I promise that you will mount up with wings like eagles and soar into your next after this episode. So, what I want you to do is, you got to promise me one thing. You got to promise me that you're going to let this question marinate. And hopefully, by the end of this episode, you will gain a new perspective. So, let's dive in. Okay, so last week I was thinking about 3 things that helped me, my transformational experience. So for this episode, I decided I wanted to share the 3 things that I found to be the solution to getting my personal transformation. And the first thing I want you to know is that you deserve it. Did you hear me? You deserve it. You deserve whatever transformation you're seeking. And second, you can do anything, and I mean anything, that you put your mind to. And third, you've got to be willing to expand your mind, because this is where the magic happens. At least this is where I can speak of that the magic happened for me. The willingness to accept that I deserve it, the willingness to take a leap into believing that I can do anything I put my mind to, and third, the willingness to expand my mind. And so these 3 things are not rocket science. They are actually quite simple, but not necessarily easy. Because when it comes down to creating change, the techniques may be simple, but nothing is easy. If you live in fear, if you live in self doubt, or if you're living in a stuck place for so long that it starts to feel normal. So let me answer the question that you're having. Angela, how do I begin? First, let's talk about the struggle of deserve and coming to terms with what you deserve. Here's what I did to fix that. I sat down and I wrote out the ways that I am good to others. I wrote out the ways that I serve others. I I remember the joy that I witnessed in others when I was serving them, when I was giving them the goods. I witnessed the appreciation they showed, and sometimes no appreciation shown at all. But that didn't matter to me. I was fixated on serving, on being good, of putting good out into the world. And so I decided for myself that I was going to start giving myself those same good vibes that I gave to others. And I did it once, and it felt a little foreign to me, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable in that space, but I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it again until I I developed the attitude that said, "Heck yeah, I deserve it. I deserve it to have it all. I deserve the same good that I put out into the world. I deserve the same good that I give to others." And so that is what helped me. And so that's what I'm suggesting that you do. Look at the good that you put out. Look at the joy you bring to others. Look at the goodness that you sow into the earth. And then decide that you deserve those same things. And secondly, embrace the fact that I can do anything I put my mind to. And so I'm telling you, asking you to do the same thing. That you can do anything that you put your mind to. And so let's address that for a second, because first of all, I gotta give credit to my mama, Miss Celestine Stevens. She would always tell me, "Baby, you can do anything you put your mind to." And guess what? I believed her. Now, I realize that some of us never had that type of encouragement. So that requires a deeper level of trauma work. And so I recommend that you check with your doctor to get that type of attention. And so, but what it boils down to is making a decision, deciding to transform what's not working, and deciding once and for all
That at this time in life,
what I like to call halftime, that it's going down. Because sometimes you just have to draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough. And third, the thing is, you've got to be willing. You have got to be willing to expand your mind. Because let's just be real about it. You cannot put a gallon of water into a 16-ounce container. It simply won't work. And so, some ways I recommend that you expand your mind are you can expand by using affirmations of self-love. Here's the thing about self-love. Some of us have been taught that self-love is a selfish act, but it's absolutely not. Because my question is, and I want you to ask yourself, how can you love others when you hold back loving yourself? I also want to suggest that you be kind to yourself. That you recognize and treasure your gifts and talents, and learn to compliment yourself. Sometimes we have to validate our own selves and don't look for validation from others. And and another thing I do is I adorn myself. I love my earrings, I love my lipsticks, I love my outfits, you know, and I exercise so that when I do adorn myself, I feel good internally. And that internal good feeling shows up on the outside. And along with that, I feed myself whole food. I feed myself fresh fruit. I feed myself healthy carbs. I feed myself fresh vegetables. And I also feed myself some darn good desserts. To be perfectly honest with you, I like my desserts, and I don't deny myself, and uh I don't encourage you to deny yourself either, because let's face it, everything is good in moderation. And another thing I found helpful is I listen to myself and I follow through on what I hear as myself speaks to me. I follow through on what I hear. And the main thing is this: I open God's Word. I have meditation and devotion every morning. And I open God's Word and I read about who God says I am. So I'm suggesting to you, open God's Word and read about who God says you are and the plans He has for you to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And I got that from Jeremiah 29:11. And so, well, listen, I think I better stop here because once I get started on God's word, I can be here till this time next year, pouring it into you and talking about it. So, if you're ready, seriously, if you're ready to begin your self love and mindset transformation, I have a special gift for you. In the description of this episode, there will be a link to join my first ever Fuller Love newsletter. And in joining, you will receive my free guide. Yes, I said free guide. How self love and mindset open the door to transformation. I really want you to have it. There's so much good in there that I think you will find of value. It's techniques and a guide that I use to move my life forward into more self love, into my mindset shift. And I want to invite you to get it and use it and grow. So I want to congratulate you in advance for taking the steps, sometimes scary, but do it anyway. I want to congratulate you in advance for taking the steps to your personal transformation, and also thank you for supporting the show. Okay? Bye. Mwah. See you next time.
Thank you so much for tuning into Lessons from Behind My Chair. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And be sure to rate us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. We'll see you next week with another juicy topic. Okay? Bye!